this one up.
It's all good. All right, let's see what we got then, because yeah, Enchantress Kunkka removed from the pool. We got Team Spirit removing the Primal, the Bristle, the Treant Protector as well. And they're now thinking about their last one. I'm gonna mention a couple of heroes that are still in the pool that were banned last, because CK, Chaos Knight, now banned as well, as Matu mentioned, a hero that is very popular at the moment, but Nature's Prophet, Ancient Apparition, still in the pool as they were banned last time, and also Spirit Breaker Brewmaster. And then with that, the Phoenix we already mentioned. So pick your poison, Matu. Which one are you gonna go for?
As for Liquid, I mean, I would prefer the Grimstroke. I feel like he has the most flexibility out of all of them, and I just feel like this hero does some crazy stuff. To be honest, not much to say about that.
All right, fair enough. They're going into their bonus time for this ban. That being said, Spirit did the same thing. It's kind of unusual to see that, but they do ban out the Brewmaster and they pick up Space Cow.
Yeah, and again, when we think about the Hour-Long games, Spirit Breaker undefeated. Hopefully, actually, you know what?
Have you seen how fast previous game was?
Yeah, but I want an Hour-Long game. You know, I need some like nail biter of a game too.
We just had a 78 whatever minute. Were you not satisfied?
10 seconds.
Okay,
I want
never
every
mind.
game to be that long.
Let's go.
But no, so for Liquid, of course, when you say pick their poison, they go for Spirit Breaker. I think, at least with Liquid, they are demonstrating that they can put it in 4 or 3. And instantly, Spirit going for a very snap counter-pick response here. You have Disrupt to just save whoever's getting jumped on to prevent Spirit Breaker charging away. And also with your ultimate, with that Purge, just stopping Spirit Breaker being so tanky with the Bulldozer. So yeah, overall, a very good pick, and they can put it 4 or 5 wherever they need to. So if they want to give it more farm priority, that is available for them as well.
Something I really loved when we saw Spirit Breaker played earlier today in some matches was the supports and their warding. If you're able to put wards like deeper on the map and give vision to like camps, then you can use that to charge through waves and cut things that you wouldn't normally be able to see if you didn't have wards set up in lanes. So I really liked seeing that earlier. I would love to see that utilized again. If this is a core Spirit Breaker, we've seen the effect of how annoying this hero can be when he just kicks your waves, doesn't let you push, causes problems.
I get this feeling it's not going to be core this time because the SD is already picked, and I feel like SD really hard counters this Spirit Breaker. Because in the previous years, they didn't have a single way to deal with Spirit Breakers. He was just absolutely rating free, charging anything he wants and do whatever he wants. But this game, I feel like it's not going to be that easy.
Yeah, that's why I think I need to double check, but the Nature's Prophet that they played, did they play it support or did they play it offlane?
On the side of Liquid,
yeah,
they have played Nature's Prophet only on Boxy so far.
Okay, sure.
And for Spirit Breaker, they played it on both.
Sure, okay. I was just thinking, like, I want to see that really aggressive ranged hero to play with the Spirit Breaker, because if SD is 5, you don't really play forwards in the lane. You might disrupt to annoy someone, but I want to use the Spirit Breaker 4 position to then body for your offlaner to just really obliterate that lane. And then from there, you can take the fight elsewhere.
They're banning out the Invoker and the Tusk on the side of Team Liquid. Are those 2 bans that we can learn something from, Matu?
I just really like that approach because obviously Lar hasn't been to the scene for that long, and he definitely has his like the best heroes. When I think of Lar, I think of Kunkka, I think of Invoker. Just get him out of there and just let him play something he's maybe not as good at. Like if he's like god tier at these heroes, he might be like pro level at the other ones. So you need to make things easier for yourself too.
Get him out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
I know he plays a mean Zeus as well, but I don't think that hero is really pickable at the moment.
Sidebar. I'm really upset that both Shaker and Ogre aren't in the meta, only because of when they're picked here and we get to see them clapping.
Sure, but Shaker is in the meta. What are you talking about?
I mean, it's not picked though. I meant in this series meta then.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, it's like, you know, we've seen quite a few
for Saturday.
Saturday, okay.
Yeah.
Saturday claps. That is, okay, that's fine.
Guys, there's at least 3 more games that are happening on stage, you know?
It better happen today, or at least on the weekend.
5 seconds left.
I will say something I would like to see is if Spirit have a Shadow Demon, usually you see that accompanied. Oh my God, Phoenix got through. Well, GG. Anyway, with Shadow Demon, usually you see that accompanying these carries that really like to use it, like the Luna, CK's band type thing. If they're able to have a Phoenix like this and ball up in a group, it makes Spirit Breaker, especially on support, which we're leaning towards, much less effective. Like, you want to be able to play off pickoffs. This hero cannot deal with swarms of heroes. So if Spirit turn their draft in that direction, I want Liquid to be able to address that now in advance.
Yeah, the key thing here is this Spirit Breaker, you charge, there's disruption, there's an egg, both supports now can actually protect themselves against a core Spirit Breaker, and that's why I kind of lean to Matto's point. I would like to see them push it more into a support role. We've seen VP do it with FNG, Liquid do it with Boxy. It doesn't have to be a core. Like, just because all the other teams are doing it, I think drafting-wise, it should be the 4.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I feel like Liquid is in some trouble already. I don't like how this is exactly set up for them. I feel like SD Phoenix very good against Spirit Breaker, and now you have to kind of decide what you want to do. And after this third pick, Spirit is gonna have like the what's it called, like the advantage in regards of like answering what Team Liquid wants to build, because they have to show a core hero now.
The Pugna's pretty nice though. If I look at the supports of Spirit, they are now kind of what Liquid had last game, which is pretty low damage supports. You're playing into a Pugna. If this is also a support, he's gonna be able to hit that life drain, heal his carry up. If they don't have ways to kind of bust through that, sustain, I think Liquid's cores could look really scary.
I mean, Pugna is Imba, I'm sure.
Yeah.
People don't pick it as much as I like to. Just by watching it.
Well, so far this is going to be the first time Team Liquid plays it at this international, so it will be interesting to see what they do with it.
When Spirit played it, it looked really good.
Yeah. But then again, all of the games that Spirit has played made it look really good. They've only dropped 1 game so far, as Sheep mentioned earlier, against Virtus Pro.
This lineup from Liquid though is very, after laning phase, they play off of each other, right? They want to look to progress towers with the Pugna. They can, depending on the Muerta build, also take a lot of cheap fights. The Spirit, they are very scary in the defensive position, but if the game goes high pace, these heroes aren't the best at playing into that. So I think Liquid, yes, it might look a little bit volatile right now, but if they can dictate the game, they should be okay. And for Spirit, they're kind of following down the same path here. It's like, okay, you want to run at us? Sure, but we'll put a timer on your game plan now. If you make an error, you lose.
That is classic Team Spirit gameplay. They just gonna wait for you to come to us, and you know, then they sweep the floor with you. I personally hate it. I've been the victim of it.
You hate it because it's good, right?
Yeah, it's exactly. Like, yeah, it's great. Like, it works. It just works. Camp your own ward. Just keep farming. They come to you because they're frustrated. The game is not progressing like we want it to, and then, you know, like, one fight and GG.
The only time when you look at these heroes though, they don't really push out the lanes as quickly. So the next 2 picks, I would assume they need to kind of have that type of thing built into them. Otherwise, how do they actually get to the later portion of the game?
They really need some brawlers now.
Yeah,
guys
exactly.
who do damage, they're tanky, they run around. Blade Mail heroes.
Yay!
Yay!
We mean Axe?
Radiant pick.
We got our Spirit picked up. We had that as a last phase ban previously. This is most likely going to be the hero that Lara will play. I have not seen him play it yet though.
But he can. All reliable lol.
Yeah?
I think it's a really hard game now to be a Pugna at the very least. I'm glad that they addressed it as heavily as they did. These heroes are just good in general, good this meta. But the #1 problem with playing against Pugna is if you don't have ways to backline jump, and now they have it.
Radiant's turn to bed.
Weaver coming out.
I can't tell if that is the lane support for a Spirit Breaker core, or if it's the support for, or if it's also core off
We've
lane.
seen Weaver offlane from other teams.
Yeah.
We've seen Weaver carry from other teams as well. I think depending on what lane it goes to, the main point here is Liquid is trying to win their lanes and continue their ganks, continue the moves. And that's really scary because it kind of goes against the general meta that we've seen, especially because they don't have the cleanest, consistent form of tower damage. Pugna is, but he dies once and that's it. It's over, right? So, well, that siege is over. Sorry.
I want to see the Weaver on core. I just think that you're giving yourself another way to deal with Egg. You're giving a hero that is going to be able to play on the backline and make Shadow Demon have a terrible time.
But if you want to see Weaver on core, and you want to see Spirit Breaker on support, where does Muerta go?
Carry. With Pug. No.
Yeah, but that's also a core.
Wait, what?
You said
Weaver off lane.
Oh, off
Breaker
lane.
support,
All right.
Carry Muerta.
Yeah. Sorry, in my head, core meant carry for a second there.
Oh, no.
It's all good.
I'm a little confused looking at it myself. I can't really make of what is what here, like what is exactly supposed to be what. But the Weaver hopefully is a carry, because support Weaver doesn't have that big of an impact towards like these supports that are just standing back. She needs to be able to do damage towards them, yeah?
like they have no traditional front line. The front line comes through
It's
how
Radiant's
aggressive they
fan
can
now.
play, right? Spiritbreaker wants to get into the front. Weaver can be super in your face, but they don't have that like rounding factor of it, and it really does go to the point where Liquid, they are going to be as quick as possible to win this game. Like their lanes will go well, their moves will be quick. And I think, I'm trying to think for Spirit,
10
they just need
seconds.
one of those anti-aggression type offlaners. Liquid's banning out Centaur, very
5
stable,
seconds
very good
left.
right now. There's a lot of the big strength offlaners still in play. Even a Collapse
Radiant
Mars
pick.
respect ban coming from Liquid.
Oh my god, I love Mars so much. I want to see him play this tournament. Seeing it banned makes me sad. We still have what, like Tidehunter still in the pool if you want that type of
There's still
offlaner.
Do you guys
Dawnbreaker as
count
well.
Mag?
Yeah.
Mag, Collapse Mag. Literally
10
Magnus.
seconds.
The best. Magnus. Oh, this is an awkward silence here. They
5
don't like it,
seconds
guys.
I want to support it. Sorry.
I just want to know where Liquid's going with this this draft. It's a little bit like when you think of the current meta, like aggression's very good
Dire's
to
turn
some
to
degree.
bat.
Like gaming is showcasing how to win a game quickly, but Liquid's like adaptation on that is a little bit new, a little bit fresh, and they are one game away from then going potentially to lower bracket. But the Pangolier pick just continues down the path that we've been setting for them.
Liquid is the ultimate copycat team. Even
10
when I was there,
seconds.
we didn't come up with our own stuff. We just stole stuff, made it better. Like, why would you go
seconds
through all
left.
the trouble to
Yeah.
make stuff good when you can just steal it?
Exactly. Quinn won 3 majors on a Pangolier, just steal it, yoink, it's mine. Oh, look at him, he's so happy.
Yeah.
Isn't imitation the purest form of flattery? So, you know.
And
Something like
there's
that.
the beefy boy.
Watermelon reporting in. Sorry,
This
Magnus.
is where you choose your
Yeah,
hero.
when you look at the bans, right, it's like Centaur's banned, Mars is banned. Dawnbreaker might be a little bit too volatile for this type of game, and Tidehunter is that constant that you often find in a game, right? He will always soak up and buy you that one good fight.
Funnily enough, I actually prefer Liquid's lineup. I feel like Team Spirit's lineup lacks some damage. They're a little bit too reliant on their cooldowns, and Liquid's just gonna run them over.
I
That's the plan.
actually
Give
they
me
have the
time.
same problem that
Let's
Liquid
go
had last
Liquid.
game when I look at their draft. It's like 2 low damage supports and a Tidehunter. Like, who is doing stuff for you? You need Lol to like have the best game of his life.
Exactly.
Is the Phoenix addressed this time around? We had some criticism on that last time.
There's
Mapashka Phoenix back in action, though.
Yeah, there's
10
much better
seconds.
approaches to it. I think for Spirit, the whole game is how well does Earth Spirit do from mid lane to connect and kind of make things happen. If Earth Spirit shut down, then I think the points that Maddie's bring up about the static nature is going to come to light, right? And they're just going to be awkwardly reacting to a lot of Liquid moves.
It's still gonna be tricky for Liquid. I mean, Team Spirit has all the circles in the world. If you just bash your head into them, you're gonna lose. But if you can break the formation that Team Spirit has, it's gonna fall apart very fast.
Exactly that.
I just want to point out, Zaya's on the Spirit Breaker. They did
Yes.
just put Carry Weaver, which is interesting. I mean, Spirit Breaker, I guess if he's tanking the spells, it's fine, right? Dude, I love these out so much.
Oh, that is amazing. Shout out to the effort going into that one. Let's see if they can force out a third game here, of course, as well. But my panel, I mean, you guys are kind of split here. That's a good sign.
Oh no, I'm with Liquid. I'm with Liquid. You're with
Of course
Liquid.
you're with Liquid.
You're with Liquid.
I'm
T, you're with, you're with
absolutely
Liquid, right?
love Liquid.
You're with
Better in love with them.
They're going to win very quickly this game. Yes, Matt. Sorry, Matt.
About Shiva?
I mean, definitely. No, to be honest, I mean, I already said it. I would like to have a game number 3. But let's find out if Team Liquid can do it. As we first will head over to Tsunami, who is standing by with Coach Silent.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am joined by Silent of Team Spirit. A lot of the crowd on your side, which is something that's been kind of unusual for you at a TI experience, because TI10, you were underdogs. Coming into Singapore, yeah, you had the Arlington win, but you weren't favorites. Here, you guys are favorites right now. How does it feel?
No, I don't think we are favorites, for sure. Anyway, I don't feel like we are favorites. We are playing like some middle Dota, no, not the best.
You do know that you have lost very, very few games at this tournament so far, right?
Yeah, but look who we played. We played every team already eliminated.
Confirmation bias, you're telling me. Well, looks like you're about to eliminate Liquid, or at least send them down to lower bracket, and you're gonna do it with an Earth Spirit. I haven't seen Laurel playing this hero since Dream League Season 21. Why are you whipping it out now?
Oh, honestly, this game, a lot of mid heroes was banned, so Poe wasn't that big, so we choose him.
You seem very casual about this whole thing, Silent. I think that attitude continues to bring your team to success. So let's hear it out for game number 2.
Welcome back to game number 2. According to Silent, the coach of Spirit, they suck ass. Do you agree, Cinder?
I always wanted to see an ancient
That's something else.
Okay.
That's a little bit of a difference.
Might have first blood here,
Don't
potentially,
make
as
me come
Mickey
over
is already getting gone on.
Actually,
Mickey is already getting blocked a bit, though, as Mickey will dropping just barely the right click up here on that Shadow Demon. He's going to end up getting traded out, so it's a 1-for-1 to Stars, and Sandy's continuing the pressure onto Mira, but
it's a 1-for-1 to Stars, and Sandy's continuing the pressure onto Mira, but
I feel like Spirit always make a point out of not being the favorite. I wonder if they truly think that they're not the favorite of this tournament, or at least one of them. They had a great group stage and a great spot. I mean, he makes a fair point, right? They didn't primarily beat teams that are now eliminated, so it's easier to look good, but that first game against Liquid, which you could say is their hardest test so far, also not good.
to be fair, if somebody asks you that question, you look like a giant dude,
somebody asks you that question,
we are the
like a
favorites.
giant douche if you say
That's
yes.
a bad thing, usually.
We are the favorites.
I would think, at least.
I mean,
That's a bad thing, usually.
You can maybe not say we're feeling mediocre.
You could maybe not say we're
if you're winning every like 92% of your games.
If you're winning every like 92% of your games,
maybe
you know,
their goal post is just 100%. So if you lose even one game, then it's a mediocre
if you lose even one game, then
if
it's
you
a
had attitude,
mediocre
aren't you the favorites?
If you had attitude, aren't you the favorites?
A lot of people think
I agree.
this is a replay.
I know. A lot of people replay. Thank you.
I know.
I thought you almost pulled the Suns fan.
I did not. I would
I
never.
thought you almost pulled the Suns fan.
I did not.
Seeing the
I would
replay
never.
here, so I mean, pretty standard stuff for a little
Seeing
bit of
the
skirmish.
replay here,
Weaver is
so
an exceptionally frail hero once your Gucci's on the
Weaver is an
you take the
exceptionally
fight.
frail hero once
Very long
your
cooldown
Gucci's
level
on
1. It's
cooldown. You take
15
the fight.
seconds on that
Very long
spell.
cooldown level 1.
Sometimes
It's
people tend to
15
forget
seconds on that spell.
you just have this image of Shukuchi here, there, and everywhere, but that's obviously a later thing in the game.
Here, there, and everywhere, but that's obviously a
Be
later
careful
thing
when
in
you
the game.
which fights you take on this hero.
Careful when you which fights you take.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the lineups. The panel was pointing out
So
that Spirit's
let's
lineup
talk
is
a
very
little bit about the
team fight
lineups. The
heavy,
panel is pointing out that Spirit's lineup is very team fight heavy.
not letting us talk about lineups right now.
Right, charge into blood grenade,
talk
pop the
about
Fury
lineups right
Fire,
now. Right, charge
pursued,
into
but
blood
Zycup
grenade,
not
pop
able
the
to pursue
Fury
it further
Fire,
because that's hero
pursued,
power.
but
Go ahead,
Zycup
Cinder.
not
Yeah,
able to
so a
pursue
lot
it
of team
because
fight
of
on the
hero
side of Spirit,
power.
but maybe
Go
not the
ahead,
most
Cinder.
catch.
Yeah,
You've
so a
got
lot of
Laurel
team fight on the side of Spirit, but maybe not the most
have a follow
catch. You've got
through
Laurel
Shadow
who
Step.
can roll
There isn't
into
any.
people's
You don't have
back
like that
and
blink
have a
call
follow
from
through
Axe.
Shadow
That's just
Step.
always
There
going to
isn't any-
land, or
You don't have
the
like that
CK
blink call
Shadow
from
Blade in
Axe
this
that's
game.
just
The
always
nature
going
of
to
the game
land,
will be
or the
different.
CK Shadow Blade in this
On Liquid, we've
nature of
got
the game will be
a way
different.
more clear-cut way of initiating
On
with the
Liquid,
charge.
we've got
It's Pango
a way
combo,
more clear-cut way of
Dead
initiating
Shot.
with the charge. It's a Pango
And
combo.
most importantly,
got
as
Dead Shot.
Matsu pointed out, their
and
cooldowns
most
are way
importantly,
shorter,
as
so
Matsu
you
pointed
can
out,
play more of a skirmishing
cooldowns are
style.
way-
It seems like a very clear approach from Liquid based on what they saw in Game 1. They're like, okay, what we tried there didn't work, we're going to shake things up a lot. Like,
Okay,
this
what we
lineup
tried
is
there
very,
didn't work,
very
we're going to
different
shake things up a
from
lot.
what they ran
Like,
in the
this
game that
lineup
we
is
just saw
very,
played.
very
We'll see if that adjustment is going to pay off here. I definitely like their odds better in this one than I did in the previous one. But, you know, at the same time, it's a bit high risk playing like this, perhaps.
And the battle for the Lotuses, and Mickey will reign supreme. Higher tick rate on his server. But Mira, like you talked about, Shadow Demon against the Spirit Breaker, is kind of like the big counter to the hero overall, along with the itemization. It feels like, even in games that we've seen this picked, Spirit Breaker still destroys eventually. That's what it feels like, at least. I don't know if that's confirmation bias or what. Would you agree, disagree?
I mean, I think core Spirit Breaker is extremely powerful right now, almost no matter. I think you need to completely obliterate him in lane to shut him down. We saw the game against Muerta just now in the other series with VP against Betboom, and despite the Heritage playing a very good laning stage against pure Spirit Breaker, he still came online eventually and became top network. So, yeah, this hero is kind of crazy right now. It's banned in most games for a reason, and I'm kind of surprised that we get to see it twice today. I thought this hero was just going to be an almost must ban in every game, but the teams are trying to find solutions. Obviously, we saw the Doom as one potential solution, didn't work, and now we see Mira on the Shadow Demon. Demonic Purge is an S-tier spell against Spirit Breaker, slows you to a crawl, removes bulldoze.
But yeah, we'll see if that's enough. We've seen this tried by other teams. This is not the first time this tournament pull out Shadow Demon against Spirit Break. I think the last time we saw it also lost.
It works a couple of times in the game, and then
Serves
he
you
gets
right.
enough items, just doesn't matter anymore. It feels like.
That is exactly how it.
And I think one of the big issues, maybe if you want to call it that, with Spirit Breaker is his ability to farm has been just power crept so hard over the last couple of years.
That is why
he's one of the fastest farmers in the game, and he's a cow. That doesn't really make sense.
It's kind of crazy that a hero that used to have it as his Achilles heel, right, was the struggle to find farm, is now top net worth in a lot of its games. Like, that's a very major transfer Hero is under. Maybe it's a bit on the high side right now. He definitely seems to be... Okay, hang on. Combination onto Koshka, fearing him back into the silence, but just barely out of range.
The bottom lane, Insania takes a tumble via Mira, who's now getting chased by Mickey, but won't pursue any further, it looks like.
There's too many creeps in the tower. Mickey can't really afford to go hunting for a potential Shadow Demon kill there. He needs... Yes. Yeah, this is a very easy lane for Tide, I think. There's a reason that Spirit went for this as their last pick game. The lane matchup of Weaver is very straightforward. You get a couple of points in Crack and Chill, you largely mitigate all of the Geminate attack.
Middle tower looks to be disintegrated.
So calling it now. Dead in the water against Weaver.
Very good.
Against Pango.
Very good.
Against Spirit Breaker.
Very good.
My God.
It is very good.
That is an S tier shard this game, I think.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if he Collapse prioritizes that very quickly. The fact that you can just anchor them, and then when the Spectre actually has farm to be able to ult in anytime they want, you get some nice pickoffs with just that as well. Without too much to really spend by doing so.
Yeah, just an anchor and a Shadow Step can kill supports as well.
Of course, Mickey does have Gemini, which helps.
Yeah, something. When he gets level 25, he might take the one with an additional attack. Maybe 3 times.
The other 2 cores are melee against, so it's going to kind of be the same issues we saw last game to a degree. See what kind of build that Foxy ends up going for. I know it feels like they start out as support with North and then eventually turn into a core anyway.
Oh, big damage on Zai. Nice
block. Body block. Yatoro going to continue on.
Oh.
The one not going to survive. TP a little bit too late as Yatoro claims that kill.
That was just flat out. That was just flawless execution. They force out the charge first off with a bit of damage and harass, and then way after. Zai probably had the option there of TPing back to base. Obviously, Spirit Breaker is one of the heroes in the game that suffers the least from porting to base. You can just charge back to the top lane. So maybe regretting that choice right now of not going for that. I definitely think he would have survived. The kill was very slow. But he'll make the same play just with a death, returning top.
So all this talk about Pango getting nerfed, quote-unquote, to the ground several times now, and we're still seeing it.
Yep.
Pretty consistently.
Radiant's bottom tower is still there.
Actually, is Mira. Swashbuckle already used by Nisha. Be a bit careful. Roll in, not going to connect from Laurel. Sanya showing himself now, so well done. Yeah, talk to me about your thoughts on how strong Pango is. He's still continuing to get picked. Because the one thing that hasn't really been nerfed, I think, is his ult. If I'm not mistaken.
So the concept of the hero is largely the same. Tweaking numbers, a little bit less damage on this spell, a little less damage, so a little more mana cost, but the essence of what the hero does is largely unchanged. It is buying Diffusal, burning mana, and then having an ult that's very hard to counter.
Falling is there, nice dead shot can bring Mira back into the fray, will die as a result as Nisha comes off that new Rolling Thunder, but the haste rune being applied by Laurel. Dodge out a couple of those rolls. Not able to follow up. It's a nice roll in. Foxy on a bunch of creep will die to the neutrals.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Laurel could maybe
he's getting charged right now. They have the vision, but cancel it out. I'm sure Foxy was surprised to receive the hit and run there.
Yeah.
And then dies to creeps anyway.
He's going to be very happy to die to the neutral. Quite a bit of waste of time there from Laurel, and
Collapse has Meteor Hammer, by the way, and Weaver has no stun. This will be a free tower for Collapse at the 9-minute mark. He has
precious bounty.
He's eventually going to go for the Hurricane Pike, or at least Dragon Lance right now. How does that work against Death Water? You know?
I think you would just move with the anchor, but it stays on you,
That's right. Anchor. Yatoro.
Radiant's middle tower is
half
under
HP, gonna use that ult to get away onto the other side. Mickey is waiting for him, but does not have the damage at this point. Or back to base.
Yeah, he's gonna live, but that's still a good move from Liquid, slowing him down quite a lot. Having to use ult and TP to just survive, and they find the Toshka here too. Nicely done. A good sequence from them.
Middle tower is under attack.
Let's count that as a kill and a half, with how much Yatoro just lost from having to port to base, having to walk his way to top lane, and having to buy a TP as well. The expenses add up, and they're
Collapse has been
tower damage too.
2 games now. He's getting massive stacks.
Yeah, this time around he won't be farming it too fast though, because he went for 3 points in Kraken Shell. This is a bit slow. Eventually he'll get through it.
Take smaller bites. Sania nether blasting the tower. So eventually will be a delayed trade between the two tier 1s on up.
Tower has fallen.
Even game so far. Team Spirit, I think at this point was like maybe 2K ahead, and they just kept progressing in game number 1 just slowly until they just hit a point where they could not lose a fight or even a hero for very considerable.
Yeah.
But Liquid faring a bit better this time around.
I guess something that's worth pointing out is the discrepancy between quality of tied games, you could say.
Middle tower is
the matchups for tied in this game are so much better than Zai's were in last game, so I'm expecting Collapse to have a better showing. There's nothing here that's preventing him from getting Ravage off, unless you get like some sort of ridiculously perfect chain combo around Kraken. Or you line up an exact silence combination. I mean, you get where I'm getting at. It's very difficult from having that impact. And you don't have the most obvious silver edge buyers either. Are you going to buy it on Weaver?
Double invis, I hear it's good.
I mean, it's not out of the question because buying crit on this hero is good anyway, and you're also against Spectre, so you probably do want to break. None of your heroes naturally really love itemizing this, so...
Well, Murta as a core would buy Silver Edge, right?
But Moxie has brown boots.
I mean,
so
could we see
he's almost there.
We used to see a lot of Shadow Blades on Spirit Breaker.
Spirit Breaker can buy Silver Edge, but it's a little bit awkward because your initial attack obviously has to be melee. You have to charge through, so you're at the mercy of vision and, you know, potential counterplays.
And Boxy gonna dodge the roll, unbeknownst to him. Nisha gets off that Rolling Thunder, now Collapse stuck inside the calling right now. Looks like that's gonna be a freebie for Liquid. Nice turnaround, and the nether strike's going to be applied to the Phoenix. Miposhka dives away, very low HP, takes a full swashbuckle with the shield crack to follow here.
Oh, nice dead shot.
Laurel able to get the initiation off onto Nisha, but the heal's coming out from Insania. Will it actually be enough? They can take out the Pugna first. Got that Butler. Now the chase is on. Maybe a 2-for-1 right now. Yatoro ready to go. Mickey running out of mana though. See, the ult from that Shadow Demon applied to Zai just can't do anything. Nice play calling though. It's not going to be enough to save out Mr. Zai. Triple kill for Laurel. As Mickey potentially go for some more, but let's go back away. So that's a 3-for-1.
Yeah, it's going to cost Liquid their mid tower too.
Radiant
Tide is immediately going to show back up here. He's going to hammer. They're going to glyph it this time around, but imagine that it's just a matter of time before he completes this. So, yeah, honestly, a pretty good start there from Liquid, the way they isolated and killed off Collapse. It was very telling how long that took for 4 heroes to bring him down, but they do get there with all of those combinations. Make it scary, but...
Yeah, it was a more elongated fight than I remember. It was a 3-for-3.
And it's worth keeping in mind that Spirit's lineup, obviously, we talked about big team fight versus skirmishing power. Earth Spirit is an incredible skirmishing hero at this point in the game, so they really want that value out of Larla, and they're getting it in spades so far with that triple kill in that fight. And it's a Spectre game. The hero, when enabled, I want to say it loses pretty few late games. There's a subset of heroes that you're not that great against. I wouldn't put Weaver in that category. I don't think Weaver is a particularly scary matchup late game here.
Well,
so if Yatoro gets big enough.
With the shard changes, he's way better than he used to.
Definitely better than he used to. But you're still running into the break problem, right? Well, yeah, Spirit Breaker can get that Silver Edge, but more than likely Zai wants to go Octarine, he wants to go Yashakaya, he wants to go... Maybe you need BKB this game? I don't think
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But I guess if you don't get BKB Lincolns, you're very pressured out of the fights by Demonic Hurt. You might want a protection item as well.
Dire's middle tower
Silver Edge isn't going to be at the top of his list exactly. Charge.
Yeah, Miposhka.
Gonna complete it. Oh, wait, he stopped right before. Oh, that's bad.
Turn this around now. Ravage comes through from Collapse as well. Zai already dead. If they can somehow find Mickey, but no, not enough lockdown. Dead in the water, not there yet, Cinder.
Yeah.
Not 15 minutes yet. Soon.
That did just not work out. Zai canceled his charge just a millimeter away from his target, so didn't even get the Grayer Bash coming through. Stuck in no man's land, getting countered out there. I think a lot of players will be not opting to go for these moves at all. We've seen Spirit Breakers just farming, right? Just being greedy, keep pushing side lanes, use that Midas, farm some jungle. Feels like Zai's moves have not really been paying off for him very well this game, so perhaps going for that slower and greedier play is the way to go in this one. Oh, I say that. He's immediately charging his next target in Laurel, but not going to complete that one either. Just losing out on some pretty valuable farming time. He'll have to deny this mid tower now as well.
Just
Mira in the same vicinity as these three members of Liquid. They're going to find the tide to start. Looks like Mira just drops very shortly after this engagement started. Is Collapse getting charged on? Nice dodge out from that ult on Nisha. But this is going to be way too much damage as Zai makes his way over as well. So a 2 for nada.
That was very nicely placed calling from Boxy, getting that double silence immediately. Really ruined the counterplay from Shadow Demon interrupting. Just very aware of the plans that Spirit had to stall that fight out and maybe get reinforcements, and completely denied. So 2 kills for Liquid. Pretty much a dead even game right now. And they might find another one, Miposhka.
Yep, not going to bother ulting there.
Yeah, would have died anyway.
Okay, level 12. 300 away from the Deso for himself. And we have a Midas, of course, on Zai. Only, spoke too soon. Laurel has a Midas himself as well. Laurel taking a lot of damage from Nisha, who now has that Diffusal Blaze completely out of mana, going to get charged on by Zai. A big kill for Liquid. As Insania ticking away ever so slowly to that Magnetize. We can see Mira gets dropped by Nisha as well.
Spirit need to be really careful with what fights they choose to take. I think these couple of moves, when you don't have Spectre healthy enough to join, they're kind of just getting overwhelmed by the raw mobility and just skirmishing power of Liquid's team. This is the type of way you want to play against Tide, is to just not take 5-on-5s if you can find 2v2s, 3v2s, whatever. You're looking great in those, and Nisha has been very involved.
Headshot not going to be there, but the swash is there from Nisha. He's going to use the inhibit as well. The heal's coming out, and yeah. That's a dead Yatoro again. So Liquid starting to create some serious momentum on their side for game number 2.
Yeah, this is snowballing really fast. Maybe Silent was right. Spirit aren't the ones.
Tower is under attack.
I'm sure they can fix it. I want to say some of Spirit's worst minutes in the tournament, I think that's fair to say, have just transpired. And
yep,
they're going to try to make up for it.
Caster Curse reverse potentially. Going to get the Ravage as well. Do they have the damage to get through? Disruption from Mira. And that is a dead Weaver. Big kill for Spirit. Desperately needed.
Very, very good. He was going to get off the time lapse. There was just enough of a gap between the rolling boulders that would have been a possible play for Mickey. And if that comes off, he survives, but he just poisons him in that disruption and kills him in disruption. Yeah, to find a bit of a return kill there. And I was going to say much needed. It's not that bad yet for Spirit because Spectre's trajectory is still looking pretty solid. Yatoro is closing in on the Sacred Relic, so we're looking at maybe a 20-21 minute Radiant. And their lineup has extreme late game potential, I want to say. Phoenix, one of the best scaling supports. Shadow Demon as well has massive late game potential. Tide can definitely be a big factor in late game situations too. And Earth Spirit Core, who used to... Oh, hang on!
Silent Nisha in a lot of trouble. He gets deleted.
No, doesn't have any defensive item yet. He's working on that Manta.
I mean, the game was slipping away from Spirit, but now 2 extremely important kills for them, and they're back in this.
I think Mira got both of them as well. So the Shadow Demon getting a big bag here. Wonder what he's going to go for. See a pipe flying out now.
I was hoping for Midas, honestly.
What is the best build on Shadow Demon this game? I
mean, is Ags... I mean, it only gets 2 charges now. Right?
I mean, ultimately, Ags is going to be incredibly good, right? But maybe... Do you buy the Shard? You can purge off Decrepify from allies. You can purge off... I don't know. I'm not sure if it's good enough. Maybe just go... Yeah, he's going Aether Lens for now, and then we'll see what his next quick buy item is. Charge from Zai.
Another strike will be there as well. Do they have the lockdown? Yes, the dash is there.
If you want to kill not right, higher deck.
I was going to say another Midas may be coming for Boxy, but he actually switches up his build to be a Greaves instead. It's helpful for the team.
That item is not very popular.
That's true.
Interesting choice to see coming out from him.
Taro, early blade mail. Nisha's going to pop that rolling thunder. Zania trying to make his way over as well. Gets another blast. They have the vision now with that charge coming through, and that is a dead Spectre. Big kill for Liquid as they're just trading him left and right, it feels like. Liquid now back in decent control of this game with a 4K lead.
Yeah, nowhere to shadow step to there. Didn't even try. You can't see any. So Liquid making sure that when they go for these Spectre kills, they're not opening up a vulnerability on the other side of the map for him to escape to. So clean stuff there. Picking up a Yules now on Mikoshka. Interesting, obviously. Key item against Spirit Breaker for the time being. Eventually, Zai is eyeing up a BKB already now, and at that point, Demonic Purge is your only real solution for this guy for quite a while. Right now, Yules can pay off big time if they find the fight they will be looking for. Speaking of items, Nisha almost completing Manta style, 50 gold off. He'll get it from this wave, and that's a great way for him to break out of the Earth Spirit combination. Aggression on all fronts here, and you know, it's a 5K lead for Liquid. It's looking way healthier than the last game, to say the least. Now it's a matter of enforcing your will on the map, right? There's a specific type of fights you don't want to take, and I want to say those are the ones where you clump up and, you know, let the enemy team land all their big AoE spells, but a lot of skirmishes should be possible as long as you account for the Spectre factor in those. And I don't know, maybe you're also happy to farm. I haven't really seen this Weaver versus Spectre matchup late game. I'm just going off of memory about how this usually goes, but maybe it's clearly different now than it used to. Maybe you feel confident.
A lot of the decisions that you're talking about come to team dynamics as well. We've seen a lot of teams very happy to go late game anyway.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of how the game is actually going. At first I thought they were just scared to go high ground in general, but it just feels like they feel like it's literally better just to wait 50 minutes, third, fourth Roche, and that's when you take your time. But other teams we've seen actually able to implement a faster play style.
Taro now with the Radiance, so big upgrade for him. Blade Mail Radiance. He's playing against currently 0 BKBs, so massive impact item. A lot of damage onto Pugna as well. I think that's probably the target for Spirit that they would love to kill the most to begin the fight, is just get this Pugna out of play, remove the Decrepify threat, remove the heals onto the course that they want on afterward. Taro is probably able to do it in a single stun. They just need to connect something onto, and he will kill. Taro again.
Yep, Swash to start things out. It's going to use his ult to dodge out the first rolling Thunder proc. Nicely done, but will they still find the damage? A little bit awkward though. Disruption now from Mira is going to be enough to actually save his life. It looks like it is. So a bit of a miscue there from Liquid side as Insania might pay the price. Laurel continuing on. He has the magnetize applied to Insania, trying to TP out, but a little bit ambitious at this stage. Could have been a huge kill for Liquid, who are already sporting a decent lead with 6K right now.
It's one of those moments where you're kicking yourself a little bit, right? Because with maybe slightly better communication, that misplay doesn't happen, and at the same time, Taro with a great shadow step dodge there made their lives that bit harder. It's just one support at the end of the day that you lose, but realistically speaking, that was probably a dead Spectre that you ended up losing, so it kind of feels like you lost 2 or 3 heroes even in that engagement. But they're still looking very healthy on the gold, and as we all expected, guys, Spirit Breaker top net worth, minute 23. Truly one of the heroes of all time.
Octarine
keep it rolling.
Is finished for Zai. Midas, KB to come, I assume. The Shadow Blade. So he will be going for the Silver Edge eventually. As Tormy time! Kochka will get the shard, and that is a very, very good one.
Yeah, gets a lot better when he gets level 12, because then he has the protection of a much harder to kill Supernova, but still just a nice pickup in general. Yeah, as you mentioned, Zai will start working toward that Silver Edge. They recognize that it's an item they have to get. If he wasn't in a breaking game here, I don't think he would buy Shadow Blade even, but the break is just too important here. So you kind of have to go for it over other interesting items that we've seen people buy on this hero, such as Linken's or Kayayasha.
Interesting.
Refreshers, you know. The whole catalog of items.
Yeah, he'll find his way there eventually. It's like any other Spirit Breaker game we've seen this tournament.
Oh yeah, he's definitely not going to fall off, I'll tell you that much.
A little something extra. for the effort.
I mean, if a cow falls off, I don't think they can get back up. So that would be pretty bad if he did.
Falls off what, though?
Cliff.
Yeah, a lot of things can't get up when they fall off a cliff. Thank you very much for your insight.
Liquid with a 6K lead. We haven't seen a Roche attempt quite yet.
Arch from Zai.
Argent from Zai.
No silver, though.
Collapse is going to pop the pipe.
Radiant's bottom
The
tower
strike's going to be
needs a
there.
hand.
Mira is now in the area with the disruption available. Using They're trying to get rid of these little plugs, and there's the Ravage from Collapse. Can they turn this around? Ulted from the striker as well. Disruption. Oh, actually get some decent heals from this egg as well. And still nobody has died somehow. Laurel comes in. He's taking the brunt of the damage. There's the disruption, but now he's on enemy lines. Looks like that's going to be the sacrifice for Team Spirit. Collapse ends up living throughout the day here. He's going to jump right back in, uses that anchor. That's the dead in the water onto the Pangolier. They're going to lose their Shadow Demon, though. And Yataro's going to have to back away because they just don't have the damage right now. And Mickey will be whipped into submission, but will just Shikuchi away. So 2 dead for Spirit, 0 for Liquid. Now is the anchor being shown for the first time from Spirit's side.
And the panel talked about this, right? Spirit might run into damage problems in the mid game, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Laurel, without that BKB, he just gets shut down. And there's 2 BKBs on the side of Liquid with massive impact there. The Spirit Breaker as well as the Weaver.
Yeah.
The fight's not over.
He's healing up quite a bit. Eventually will fall. Meter him actually connects onto 2 Mickey with a beautiful time lapse. He's going to get most of his HP back. As a result, as Yatoro just get right-clicked down by Mickey on that Weaver. And Spirit loses a very valuable member. I don't think they can go any further. Collapse with no ult, of course, used in the previous fight. And Zai, well, that's a Spirit Breaker, so he's fine.
Yeah.
He's literal opposite as an ancient apparition. He's going to get anchored, though. And it's gone.
Yeah, I think Zai is going to make a point out of not using bulldoze when he charges, because he will get Yuled a lot of the time by the Phoenix, and if he just reserves the bulldoze for after, if there's no demonic purge ready or Shadow Demon isn't in the play, he can very safely get out of there with just the bulldoze. Because, as we've already established, there's a bit of a damage issue going on for Team Spirit right now. So another great fight here from Liquid. 10k up. First time they've got a 5-digit lead in this series. And it doesn't look like they're going to drop it anytime soon either, right? It feels like if Spirit are going to turn this game around, they need to get some big items. The BKB on Earth Spirit is definitely a start. The type of fight that he will be looking for is one that extends so long that the enemy BKBs expire, and then he just keeps Magnetize running on targets during it. It's a difficult challenge to overcome for him.
Roche being attempted. In the meantime, Aposhka going to get another struck with Zai. It is a 3v1.
Well,
I feel like he's going to get out because, again, Spirit Breaker. It's a 4v1, in fact. My goodness, Collapse was looking for the anchor, but he's going to prevent all that.
Time Nisha will be grabbing the Aegis of the Immortal, choosing not to put it on Weaver here. Feel very confident that Mickey can stay alive. I think this is a little bit dangerous to the extent that Mickey is playing very aggressively on his Weaver for now, and if he does get caught by some sort of Ravage combination where everything is available and Earth Spirit gets to chain all of his spells with his BKB, I think he can die.
Demon go.
I guess the same could be said for the pit. Maybe it's good. Just pick your poison, you know?
Dire's bottom tower's under
that is going to be the completed Aghanim Scepter on the way. So Shield Crash will now proc Swashbuckles.
Bottom tower. Radiant are scanning for
Very
enemies.
valuable item in general.
Dire's bottom tower's under attack.
Not being forced back.
Dire's courier has been
4
killed.
minutes on that Aegis. Looks like the tier 2 power will be the choice for Liquid. See how many powers they can get. There's only one more tier 2 after this. Spirit's side in that mid lane.
Dire's bottom tower.
Right.
Look good.
Another strike. There's the charge combo. Deadshot gonna miss on Mira though.
Oh, he's gonna live from
to
that.
walk away. He'll be able to blink to safety.
Just
He
kidding.
with the charge.
Nice ward.
Caster cursed by Cinder, and as usual, what a real pile.
Looks like he got really far away and he can maybe, you know, TP out, but there was a ward. So, nope. Just gets charged by 1,000 move speed cow, and that is a fate I do not wish upon anyone.
It's very thick, very juicy.
Okay, that was not at all relatable to what I just said. That's fine.
Dire's
Talking
middle
about the cow,
tower looks to be disintegrating.
Collapse. Gonna be found by Zai. Ooh, blink out. Doesn't quite have the silver edge yet from Zai's side, so no break.
Closing in on it though. Kind of only need about 1,000 to go. Yatara is out picking flowers.
Buys his shard, so roll up is going to be available very soon for the mid laner on Liquid. He doesn't get silenced, of course, that's what that Manta's for. Poshka, low to a crawl thanks to that shield crash. You can see the charge is coming as well. He's already used his dive. There's the calling, trying to use the Sunray to get to the high ground. He's getting disrupted instead, and will die shortly after. Now the high ground
right into the ghost
attempt from Liquid. Is this too early? So 14k with 2 minutes on the Aegis. We've seen this go wrong for so many teams.
Make it with the Satanic is a way harder kill now than he was before.
That's true.
And looking at the damage issue for, I think you can poke and prod, but you could also just really constrict the map, because the thing that becomes increasingly difficult now for the Dire team is when they don't really know the spread of the enemy team, it's difficult to find the meaningful team fight. Like maybe you can smoke up and find one kill on somebody, but that's not going to change the state of the game. What you're really looking for is a really great trade-off, and Toro is going to get bugged here.
Yep. A minus armor. We'll take it out swiftly though. Walk away.
Kind of expecting a charge there from Zai. Might have been a cooldown. Regardless, they will continue to farm up all the lanes as well as the jungles. And this is another benefit to Spirit Breaker. We've been talking about this hero a decent amount, but any hero that can farm their own side of the map and join fights within seconds, just have that as a huge advantage, right? On Spirit side, it is the Spectre. But Spectre's farming speed.
Smoke for Spirit. Can they find Mickey the Ravage to start things out? He's dead! My goodness, that was quick.
Yep.
Now they kind of wish the Aegis was on him instead. He's going to have to wait 70 seconds and see how much Spirit can get out of this.
This is what I mean, right? This is what Spirit can do. They can smoke many heroes and find one kill, and now what, right? Like, it's obviously a really big kill, killing the Weaver. They're going to be happy with it, but you're not changing the game state. You're not really going to be able to push out the waves. You're not going to be able to get control of the map. Now that Ravage is on cooldown, play very aggressively as Team Liquid. Wouldn't be surprised to see them taking some opportunities themselves now, maybe with a smoke. Their Aegis will expire soon, but I don't think Pango is in any imminent danger without the Ravage. Things just slow down, and Spirit get to get that kill essentially for free. That's obviously good news for them. We'll be looking to do the same thing again in a minute and a half.
Yeah, one thing I will say is Spirit do have a very good Roshoff team.
Yes.
With the lineup that they have with the AoE, you have to fight in that area.
That's just bounty.
Obviously, they do have quite a big deficit, but I think hero-to-hero matchup, they match up very well in that area. But we'll see if that ends up coming to be, if they can try to contest this eventual second Roche.
Dire's courier
Now,
is kill.
that kill onto Mickey was just a little blip on the radar of Liquid, because they are in firm control of this game right now. See Mira spotted out. Will be taken out. Poshka will be the first to go. Okay.
How's a gem?
Two supports dead for Spirit.
Gem on the deck. Poshka's gem now in the hands of Zai, so Spirit recognizing that they have to try to take some risks of getting map control back, but get punished immediately, and that gem is just a big gold loss. And now Yatoro, Zai will only hit the illusion. Yatoro looks like he might be dodging the situation entirely. He's got to be really careful, though.
Scanning for enemies.
Oh. If he had gone for a TP out there, that dead shot might have actually stopped it and he could have died, but he just run away on the right. Yeah. Live, but the map is really a minefield right now for the side of Spirit. Very, very difficult.
You know, we don't get the opportunity to talk to the crowd too often, Cinder. How many Spirit fans in the audience? Okay. How many Liquid fans in the audience? How many Seattle Supersonic fans in the audience? There we go. Don't worry, you guys will have a team in a couple of years.
All right, so essentially the crowd is hoping for a finals of Liquid versus the Supersonic. Wonderful. I'm sure they'll get that eventually. Liquid is going to get into basketball anytime.
Had to make one reference for TI before I get fired, so appreciate that.
It's incredible. You get fired every year.
That is true. Keep coming back like a bad fungus. 19K lead for Liquid now, as they're just waiting for the old Roach. We'll know in about a minute how long of a spawn that will be, but with the lineup that they have, they can just push these waves consistently. Zai can be on opposite sides of the map. very difficult to kill,
Dire is scared.
regardless of his items, it feels like. And he only has some items. Smoke up right now from Liquid, so for a pick-off before the potential Roach will spawn.
Spirit are trying to get some sort of safe zone, right? They just warded there and they're playing around that vision. De-ward, and they just have to concede the area once again. So effectively they went from having 15% of the map to 20%, and then they lost the 5% again.
Upside.
Very difficult.
There's the break, Nether strike to follow. Big charge as well. It's only at half HP is Yatoro, but no follow-up whatsoever.
There from Shadow Demon. Toro will retreat to base. Currently working on an Orchid. It's close to completion. Reckon he will... I mean, he probably wants to jump and kill the Pugna, but that's not even a possibility right now. Insania with the Eon Disc. Muerta has the Greaves against the Orchid, so that's not great either. It's tough, man. I feel like it's kind of hard to itemize in general for Spectre under these circumstances, because you kind of need a little bit of everything. And I suppose the mindset is we're going to itemize what is most impactful when BKBs drop. An Orchid can come into play there for sure. I'll get the shard onto Earth. It's that geomagnetic grip on allies.
Boy, I haven't seen a team love Tormy as much as me until now. Spirit loves it, but it's not it's 45% of the game to take their own yet. Look at that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of natural for the winning team to maybe not want to go there that much, because you don't want to give up position.
Yeah, they're too good for it, what you're saying.
I mean, you're essentially in such an offensive position that if you have to retreat to take the Tormentor, if the enemy team has any information that it's happening, you're kind of opening the door for them to take some control of the map back, so you just opt to not give them that chance. Might fall back for it later, but for now, they're going to reap the rewards of having utter domination of the map. Go with the second road, Aegis and Cheese going on Mickey this time around. Cheese into the backpack of Nisha. Recognizing, based on that previous kill, that, yep, Spirit can indeed burst our Weaver.
Is under attack.
We get that extra layer of protection. Leading data. I mean, I wonder if Liquid want to try to poke the high ground a little bit with this, or once again, if they feel like this will ever get out of hand. Like how long?
Demonic Purge onto Zai. Do they have the damage though? He's at half HP with that BKB already activated. Going in really deep. They pop the egg with the Sun Ray as well. The Ravage is being expended as well. He's getting healed out from Insania. This cow will live on. Vegans around the world rejoice. He lives. And now they're going to try to turn this around onto Yatoro, but Mickey, he's taking the brunt of the damage. That's already the Aegis down. Zai getting one more charge off. Eventually he will fall though. So beef enjoyers enjoy, but Yatoro will drop as well. So there is a trade, and it's very heavy. 3 dead for the eventual kill onto the cow.
That was a really clutch save from Insania. Also a brilliant execution from Spirit, honestly. I did not think they were going to be able to pursue that Spirit Breaker kill at all, but clipping him on the edge of the Ravage and Sunray, that would have been a kill without Insania's save. And sure, they get him in the end, but it made them overextend so much further. And Liquid come in and get quite a bit of a cleanup, and this could open the door for the high ground. Obviously, Aegis down, so you need to be a little bit careful on Mickey not to overcommit. This time around, there won't be a Ravage.
Time left down 40 seconds. Tier 3 tower down, base exposed. Collapse jumps in. To get the anchor, looks like it was Lotus to him instead. Another fortification. That's the last one for a while here from Spirit's side. This time on the Nether, or the Nether Blast. See that Deso just doing absolute work. That is a melee racks down. As Collapse wants to go a little bit further, another 15 seconds for that. Oh, that's a very precarious spot. Trying to get to the high ground. He's going to get disrupted instead. You can see Laurel going in with that BKB and the blade mail as well. Still a lot of damage being applied, but no kills as of yet.
Spectre about to spawn with Shadow Step here.
Indeed, they just need a little bit of vision. Laurel trying to provide that onto Boxy. They've got to get something out of this, and they will. It's just the support. They lose their melee racks.
Quite a mess.
Cost them dearly.
Yeah, that looked like a bit of an awkward situation. I don't think Laurel meant to kick Collapse into the enemy team there, but get out alive on their tide still. Scary situation for them. Liquid with a good pickup of that melee racks. Pointed out, and they still have their cheese. I don't know if they're going to consider this enough of an advantage to look for more, or if they're going to fall back into the...
I thought you were going to say enough of an advantage to go for block of cheese, the first ever in TI.
Yeah, has that? Okay, have you seen a pro game with
Not
it?
one. Not one.
Okay.
I feel like of all people, I would have heard about it, so I'm just going to assume that it's never happened.
Maybe that needs to be a little bit easy to make, or
good. Just make it good, please. Zai is now level 25. Yeah, he's got a Stormcrafter. That's some nice move speed and mana.
Goes for the 20% greater bash chance here, so now up to 37. He's decent attack speed as well with his Silver Edge.
He was broken by the creep temporarily, and that's going to be broken by the counter step, but he's actually going to use his ult onto the other side. Beautifully done! They kill off Nisha right off the bat, and Zai is left kind of alone with Mickey standing on the outskirts. The egg is placed with that Sun Ray being applied. Zai will charge away. In the end, it looks like only one will be lost, although the chase is not completely over. Still a pretty damn big kill for Spirit.
The timing on that was actually pretty ridiculous. As Zai was opening on Yotoro, he shadow stepped over to the other kill. So not only did they kill the Tango, but they also saved their Spectre from a really awkward situation. That could not have been any more perfect for Spirit. They get a kill and they get a tower. It's not the biggest of deals, but you know, they're staying afloat. The lead hasn't really grown very much, and you're seeing the win probability kind of not really shifting in the last 10 minutes, so give it enough time, it might just start dipping down slightly. And they're getting some pretty key items, right? So Laurel getting the Axe is obviously enormous, right? This is a key way of saving from the Spirit Breaker combination onto his Spectre. There's something that you cannot break, so as long as he's in position, which he should very easily be able to get with Rolling Boulder and BKB, save a target of his choosing and kick them out. Or they could use it to kick someone into terrible positioning because Liquid don't really have the best save. Finding a support, kicking them 2,000 range away, they're probably just going to die on the spot.
"41 minutes in, it's only one melee Rax. You know, it's 18k lead, which is, like you said, it is somewhat substantial, but it hasn't really grown that much. Spirit fighting back, and the later this game goes, the more comfortable I'm saying that their lineup is just better, paper at least, but a lot.
Breaker's always such a wild card, but yeah, in this game, in this game, at the very least, there are solutions that.
Oh my God! Collapse! Oh, he turns into stone though. Nicely done. He's actually gonna live as a result, but it's gonna cost Laurel his life. Oh boy, that is not worth trading a position 2 for a 3 and a 5 now. Aye, Spirit down a 3v5, and they're gonna lose more than just that range Rax.
Did Mickey double crit there or something?
Couldn't tell you.
Tide almost instantly died. That was ridiculous, and that's okay. Then, well, we have all our theory crafting going about how late can this game go. Well, if you lose 2 heroes like that without buyback, you're going to get mega'd now. I don't think Spirit has any hopes of defending this without. Oh, actually, Earth Spirit buyback did come up, so maybe you could go for some sort of a hold with 4 heroes here, but this is going to be really, really difficult.
Sure is. The Ravage to start. There's the buyback as well. The Egg with the Sun Ray. In addition, Zai.
Oh,
they actually deleted Mickey. Somehow locked him down 100 seconds without their Weaver now. Can Liquid get away without any other casualties, though? Boxy is going to get anchored. He's going to have to fight his way out of this one. Looks like Zai wants to continue on. Gets off the charges. Lars will have his BKB. BKB's galore, in fact. There's the Rolling Thunder from Nietzsche with a roll-up. Being used to lock several heroes down from Spirit, but they do lose their support in the end. Nice roll onto the high ground. Finds Insania. Eon Disc will just delay the inevitable. So 3 kills in favor of Spirit. They defend.
You are learning.
What looked undefendable and indefendable, whatever the word.
Super close to being 4 kills because the Pango collapsed cast Hex during the end of that Rolling Thunder, and it expired just before the Rolling Thunder did the Hex duration. Otherwise, he would have been caught on his TP out, and that could have been big for Spirit. I mean, it's still pretty solid given the circumstances. We're now kind of back to the gold that we had before the 18k lead, but you're down another lane of barracks, so there's going to be more problems on the map for Spirit to solve. Still, given the circumstances, that could have just been the end of the game instead, so I guess you got to take the small victories.
Collapse with that Meteor Hammer. Going to be able to take out this tier 2 tower, looks like.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Need to go for the anchor smash on buildings, by the way.
They find
Yotoro. Disruption's going to keep him safe for the time being. In fact, saves him in the end.
Oh, Demonic Purge.
Okay. Demonic Purge applied to him, collapses in the area. Now a big charge from Zai trying to keep the rest of Spirit at bay, but the anchor's applied to the Pangolier. That is a dead Nisha. Does have buyback. Just waited out. Still had the cheese as well. Zai and company trying to find more than just the Shadow Demon. They're going to find Torchka. Looks like he's done so. Oh, just barely getting out. Was the tide. Collapse does live. Lots of back and forth in this game number 2. But a huge kill on I feel like when either team just finds one hero isolated, they just get deleted instantly.
Yeah, this can snowball very quickly in fights for both teams. You see the quick kill on Pango. The good news for Liquid in that situation was that Supernova wasn't ready, so they were able to collapse onto the Phoenix and bring him down. Love the purchase of Lincoln's, by the way, on him identifying, okay, I mean, we have to just solving this. This is not an item you will use Phoenix buy after Yules, but probably the best choice you have in this game, so you just try to stay afloat. That was also a refresher reveal from Collapse there, so a lot being expended from Spirit, and honestly not really the best result, right, considering that they found the Pango kill first. That went as well as they would have hoped, and now they're also going to lose the Roach. They have no Ravages, so completely uncontestable.
Radiant are scared of
pick up the goodies. There will be a refresher shard on this.
Will Zai have 2 refreshers?
Who do you give it to?
Boxy will hold on to it for
holding
now.
it, yeah. So he'll have 2 Pierces of the Veils. Not really the best hero in this game.
No.
I feel like maybe he should pass it on.
I think he's acting
probably holding it for Pango, right?
Yeah, he's being a courier, right?
A golden thread.
They do have the 2 cheeses still. So, block of cheese enjoyers out there rejoice. Definitely a possibility.
What if you got 4 bigger cheese?
Big cheese?
Does this look... actually, it's not a quarter, is it? That's a good idea. Block of cheeses too easy to make. Let's make it 8 cheeses. We've had some games this tournament that could have almost...
It could have, yeah, could have. Smoke now from Liquid, supporting this 25k lead. All about the buyback situation, especially for Spirit, as will likely just be in their base.
Yep.
Any engagement has been defended here.
Still holding onto the refresher in Boxy's backpack. Calling is a pretty filthy spell, and having 2 of them back to back is very good, but want it. Anyway, here comes the siege. Tower will be falling to just the siege creeps.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
He's going to show himself. Away. Want to be very careful here. Despite having 2 cheeses in the Aegis, we have seen a lot of high grounds get punished.
Yep. And Yatoro is huge. It's worth keeping in mind. This is a level 26 Spectre with 6 slots. There's still a bit of room to grow, but he is very, very strong. Wants to finish his Abyssal Blade, and then we're maybe replace the treads, and then we're at the maximum output.
He has Nullifier and Bloodthorn.
Yeah, he can kill this Pugna very fast. Can kill anyone really fast, essentially, if they just find the Ravage opener. Liquid are very cognizant of that fact. Let's let the Nether Blast do the nice step.
Dire's middle tower is under
you'd
attack.
think that with the Dark Willow we saw the other day. Basically a trebuchet from global range. Still lose the game. There's the Ravage. He's going to try and put everything on the Mickey. That's just the Aegis, though. He is surrounded. Zai coming with the charge. Nisha with the Rolling Thunder as well. The egg is placed. New Spirit. Liquid actually want to stick around. Use a couple of ults just to kind of be able to fight this. Zai able to charge out with that refresher. Boxes to pop his ult, trying to apply as much pressure as possible, but now he's in no man's land. He's going to use the refresher shard that we were really theory crafting.
Ah, yes, the refresher pike that we all thought was going to be.
Oh dear. So Aegis, all right, guard gone.
Tower looks to be disintegrating.
You hold on. Collapse refreshed his Ravage and didn't have mana for it, so that could have probably gone a lot better for Spirit than it did, which is kind of scary news for Liquid, right? You have all these advantages. You're trying to push high ground, and despite only 1 Ravage coming out, you still didn't get anything out of it. And I love this from Spirit. You know, take some initiative, play on the second Ravage that you have. You know there's no Aegis. Maybe you can catch them before the BKBs come off cooldown again, and that would lead to a really big moment for you. Spectre can take care of the base. Shadow Step at the ready.
Scepter for Zai. Beautiful. Level 20.
Oh boy.
That's okay.
Okay, well.
Oh, bounty road. Don't mind if I do.
OpenAI would have killed him there, but that's the kind of reactions you need.
Yep, true. Time to ask ChatGPT to play your game of Dota for you. Shot. Rolling Thunder. He's actually going to get it off. Gets a stun onto 2 as well. It's Mickey trying to apply as much pressure, but there's the disruption. Getting a lot of the damage here, but now the pressure being applied to Mira, who dies and now buys back.
Under attack.
Prepify. Onto Yotaro. He's going to get onto the high ground safely. Not a whole lot was lost, but Spirit, one support buyback that they have to worry about is Moxie getting gone on now by Yotaro. Nice dead shot. Keeping him at bay. Looks like he'll get away safely as well, so this might be a next Roche situation for Liquid.
Dire is scanning for enemies.
It's really hard to go higher.
It is really difficult.
I mean, if you find the Shadow Demon again, that's can't buy back, so maybe that's the main target.
Absolutely. The best kill they can possibly get, and he dies very fast, if any. Just a matter of getting one charge connection or a couple of swing. Weaver might just kill him from 100 to 0. Keeping in mind that Miro doesn't have a defensive item. He has Blink Dagger, no Aeon Disc, no Ghost Scepter, that sort. Try to stay alive against some hard-hitting heroes is everything.
Tormy, number 3, if I'm correct. Yotaro will get that shard. Which means, anybody have one now? On their team? No, Mira does not. Wow, the support. After all that, the support still didn't get a shard. That's a lot of 50-50s that he's lost.
Yeah, I think they would actually kind of like to have the demonic.
Yep. Oh, Liquid are like, oh, I forgot this existed. Okay. Sadie, enjoy your worthless shard.
Maybe they watched Bet Booms, came to the conclusion. Dangerous. Tormentor has killed Bet Boom more times than they have killed that.
They have buffed this Pugna shard over the course of the last couple of years. Certainly better than it used to.
Cast range on the drain into it.
I mean, it was either that or the Muerta one, which as a support. Oh, she already has it. They must have killed Tormy already.
Precious bounty.
It's okay. Or the guard on the support.
It's no grab ally. That's... Although Toronto Tokyo literally never bought the shard.
Yeah. Oh.
He doesn't want to stun his teammate. He doesn't know how to click out of that.
He had bigger items to get.
Yeah.
He wanted to set the world record for most health on a hero game, which he might have actually done.
That's true. The shard doesn't help with that.
He got 14k health at one. Might have not been the one today, because he had another game as well where he had the same build on dying.
Absolutely absurd.
Radiant are scanning for
Giant's
enemies.
Ring, Heart, Aghanim Scepter. Boy, indeed. Chanel with a double damage bottled. They can hold on to this for the next Roche off. Could be in the next minute. That would be huge.
Love the placement from Zai here. He's
double damage.
Breaker, waiting for anything. Well, to maybe pounce. He will go here.
Yeah, there's a charge to start things out for Zai. Looking for another strike, but the disruption is there. He's going to get cleansed now. He's already at half HP. He's going to pop his refresher, try to get away. The Rolling Thunder's now in with Nisha. Doesn't need too much damage, focusing all their efforts on the Laurel, who's kind of on the sidelines. He's going to turn himself into stone to stay alive. They lose the Shadow Demon, though. Now the roll away from Laurel. Being pursued by Mickey, who still has double damage. Collapse! Almost gets insta-give, and now the charge is there to try to finish him off, and he does so successfully. Will buy back. 2 members of Spirit with still with their ultimate, so Ravage is still available. Looks like they're going to be able to sacrifice Insania here. Yotaro's kind of all alone. Insania now. BKB, okay? Will he die? The nullifier's there to finish him up with Yotaro. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? You're getting surrounded yourself. The dead shot. He's stuck inside the trees, and he is dead. 100 seconds of no Spectre. The Ravage finally comes out. So 2 members of Liquid do die, but their Ancient exposed. from the Spirit side.
He was zoning 3 heroes for like 10 seconds.
Mickey looking to get the rest of the buildings here to ensure victory in this game number 2 for Team Liquid. 2 buybacks now from Liquid's side. Mega creeps in their favor, and now it's a 5 versus 3 without the carry from the side of Spirit. The Ancient being exposed. All they have to do is right-click that with that Desolator until his GGs are called. This series is going to Game 3, which I'm glad to see because it deserves it.
Yeah, really nice bounce back from Liquid. After that first game, they solved their problems from that first game